Today we're going to learn how to insert tables into a Word document. So the first thing we have to do is we want to insert something. So intuitively, we look across our tabs, and you should think about going to the Insert tab when I said I'm going to insert something. So what are we going to insert? We're going to insert a table. There is a tables group. Okay, we can hit the drop down. Now there's a few different ways to insert a table. The first, if you know exactly how many columns, you can just kind of choose from this grid. But the biggest table we can create using this grid is 10 by 8. Okay. First, before we go any further, I want to just tell you a little bit about what this 10 by 8 means. In tables, it's a range of columns and rows. Columns go up and down. Okay, so for this, there are 10 columns. Okay, if you count across, going up and down. And there are 8 rows, which go side by side horizontally. So columns are vertical, rows are horizontal. All right, so that's the first way, but you're stuck to just a 10 by 8 table. The other thing is to insert a table this way, okay, and that gives you the insert table dialog box. And I want to do 6. I'm going to do 2 columns, so I can just type a 2 there, or I could use the drop down. And then I want to do 6 rows, okay? We're going to hit OK. And if you notice, when you create a table, it assumes you want to do from margin to margin. All right, so that's why it looks so wide at this point. But we're going to worry about that later on. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put a column heading. What information is going to be in this column? We're going to type a column heading. So this is going to be a gift basket includes, and I'm going to put a colon there. And then the second column is going to be regularly priced. Okay. And column, okay, so the first thing we're going to do is type in our titles. We're not going to worry about formatting or making our table look pretty. We want to focus first on getting the information in there. All right, so what does our basket include? Well, our basket includes 6 milk chocolate turtles, which are divine. I'm going to hit the tab key to get us over to the second row. If you notice, we're in the 1 to second row, second column. And now this is going to be $7.99. Then we're going to do 3 foil dark chocolate hearts, and these are going to be $2.75. The fourth row, third item is 6 milk chocolate sponge candies. And these are going to be $5.99. And then we're going to take a look. We're going to get 1 chocolate rose, and that is for $6.95. Okay, now we are going to do a total. All right, so that's where we're going to start with our formatting. But first, I want a real title because you really don't know what's going on here. So I am going to, right inside this first row, I'm going to right click there. And I'm going to go down and I'm going to go to the insert. Now it says insert a column to the left, columns go up and down. That's not what we want. We don't want a column to the left or a column to the right. We want to insert a row above our first row. Okay, so see how that's now a new row? Now this row has 2 columns. We can do something to make a title center over all of this, and that is called merging and centering the title. So it takes 2 cells and makes 1. Another thing I want you to notice here is this brand new contextual tab. It's in direct context to this table. If we click out of the table, that Table Tools contextual tab goes away. If we click back into our table, it comes back. Okay, very important to know. Everything having to do with what we can do with these tables is found in these 2 tabs that are below the Table Tools. So we're going to go to Layout, and the first thing we're going to do is we have to highlight both of the cells that we want to merge, and we're going to click Merge Cells. Okay, and now we're going to just type, this is our Valentine's Day special. And now we're going to start really formatting this. So let's go to the Home tab. And the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to center our title over this. Now, we are also going to just notice if I click, I'm just going to, if I click this, see this big white arrow where I am? If I click that, it selects the entire row. In this case, it's just 1 cell. Then we're going to go to the Design tab, and let's add some shading to this cell. Let's add just some nice, let's add some red because this is Valentine's Day after all. Okay, and now we're going to highlight it again, and this time we're going to add, a font color change as well. So because our Valentine's Day cell color is so dark, we're going to change the text color. And let's bold it, and let's just make it a lot bigger. Okay, like an 18. All right, if we click off, there we have our Valentine's Day special. And now our next row is kind of our column heading. So we want that to stand out a little bit too. So if you notice this black arrow, okay, notice the difference between the black arrow and the white arrow. The white arrow will select the entire row. The black arrow will just select the 1 cell. So for this, we want to select both of these because we want them to be the same. Let's center align that over, and let's just increase the size to a 14. And let's change the font color to that same red. We'll bold it as well so it stands out. So it kind of matches the background, but it stands out a little bit differently. Okay? And now we're going to also, for our total, let's also do our shading, which our paint bucket is your cell shading or your cell color. Let's change that as well. And we're not going to really do much to the size. We're just going to have it stand out like that. Okay? All right, so it's looking a lot different already, isn't it? So that is how we've learned how to change the shading or the cell color. We've learned how to change the font color. We've learned how to insert a new row. Okay, if I want to delete a row, you do the same thing, delete cells, or you can, it'll ask you if you want to delete. When you hit delete cells, it's going to ask you what you want to delete. Do you want to delete just a cell? Do you want to delete an entire row or an entire column? Okay, we don't want to do anything, so I'm canceling that. Now we want to make this a little bit so it fits. See how much extra space is here? We don't need all that. So if I come to the left or to the right border of my cell, and you get that 2 bars, 2 vertical bars with the 2 horizontal arrows, and I double click, it will auto fit or best fit that column We're going to do the same thing here. Double click, and there we have everything best fitted to the contents. Now, this looks a little funny now because it's all hovered over, it's left aligned. So now if we want to center align our entire table, you have to come up here and select right here, the top left-hand corner, select the whole table, and on the Home tab, just center align it. Okay, looking pretty good. However, we have one cell with nothing in it. That is our total cell. I left that blank for a reason, because you don't have to do math when you're working with doing a math in a word table. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our Layout tab under our Table Tools. All right, and we are going to now insert a formula. Now I'm just going to click here and drag that out of the way. So what is the formula we want to use? Well, we want to sum or add is sum. We want to sum the above cells. If that's what we do want to do, that's what we're going to just hit OK. And there we have the complete total of all of those prices together. One other thing that might look good in just this one cell is if we take this and we right align that total just so it stands out a little bit. All right, so now that we're done with kind of the basics, what I'd like to show you how to do is let's learn how to, we're going to select our whole table again. We're going to go to our Layout tab. And this time we're going to sort. We're going to sort this gift basket includes in ascending order. So we're going to hit OK, and I knew that was going to do that, so we don't want to do that. We should probably do that before we add, or we could probably just highlight those. I'm thinking no header row. We're going to do header row, hit OK. There we go. So now if I just highlight these and hit sort ascending order, now if you notice we are in alphabetical order. Okay. All right, what else do I need to show you? Let's see. There's also ways that we can insert rows and columns here. If you change your mind and you don't want this merged, you can also split cells. You can change your cell sizes here, the height of it. We can increase our height. I'm going to just highlight these cells, and I'm going to increase, there you go, just increasing the row height. We can also distribute our rows, which means we want all of our rows the same height. Distribute our columns, which means we want all of our columns to be across the entire document the same size. We can go to the design. There's also these table styles that give you all this time we took doing the shading and everything. You could just choose a style and get something that looks like that. That is with row headings, which we don't have. You could use something like that. Or we can hit undo 2 times and get back to what we had. Another thing we can do is we can change our borders. So borders, this is just our basic all borders. If we go to our borders and shading, we can do a box border around the whole thing. See that? And we're going to change the box border. Let's change it to a really dark. We're going to make it nice and thick so we can see it. And if you notice, it's all the way around. Now, I didn't delete the outside borders, or, well, I guess I did. Deleted the rest of the borders. Okay? All right, that's the basics on tables. I hope that helps you to complete your table assignment, which is movies, about movies. If you have any other questions, there are